What if I told you that millions of people in California could be one mistake away from losing their home, their license, or even their legal status in 2026? Sounds extreme, but recent reports and policy discussions suggest that major law changes are quietly being rolled out, and most people have no idea what's coming, and those who are unprepared could pay the price. Imagine waking up one day to find your rent suddenly unaffordable, your daily commute risking heavy penalties, or your paperwork no longer valid. Experts and legal analysts are already warning that these changes could create serious financial and legal pressure across multiple groups, especially drivers, renters, immigrants, and seniors. So the real question is, are you ready, or are you next? In this video, we're breaking down the 10 shocking law changes that could affect your life in 2026, with real insights and practical tips to help you stay ahead and protect your future. Number 1. New driving penalties could cost you thousands. In 2026, driving in California may no longer be as simple as following basic traffic rules. It could become one of the most expensive daily risks you take. New enforcement systems, including AI-powered traffic cameras and automated violation tracking, are expected to expand rapidly. That means even a small mistake, like slightly exceeding the speed limit or missing a stop sign, could trigger instant fines, penalty points, or even license suspension without any warning. Studies on automated enforcement systems have already shown a sharp increase in detected violations, not necessarily because people are driving worse, but because the system is now watching every second. Imagine commuting to work, unaware that multiple minor violations have been recorded, and weeks later, you're hit with hundreds or even thousands of dollars in fines. For many drivers, especially those already struggling with rising costs, this could become a serious financial burden. But here's what most people don't realize. These rules don't just punish reckless driving, they catch everyday drivers off guard. Even something as simple as expired registration, a broken taillight, or using your phone for a second could now carry much harsher consequences than before. So what can you do? Start by staying informed. Regularly check for updates in traffic laws, ensure your vehicle documents are always valid, and adopt extra cautious driving habits. Because in 2026, it's not just about driving, it's about avoiding a system designed to catch every mistake. We put a lot of effort into bringing you these critical updates. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these changes worries you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. It's just one click, but it could keep you one step ahead. Number 2. Rent control changes are creating a hidden housing trap. At first glance, rent control laws sound like a lifeline for tenants, protection against rising rents and sudden increases. But in 2026, these same policies could quietly turn into a hidden housing trap that affects millions across California. The reality is more complicated than it seems. While rents may be capped for some, many landlords are responding by pulling properties off the market, selling homes, or converting rentals into short-term units. Recent housing studies suggest that when strict rent controls are introduced or expanded, the overall supply of available rental homes begins to shrink. And when supply drops, competition skyrockets. This means fewer options, longer waiting lists, and in many cases, tenants being forced to accept worse conditions or higher upfront costs just to secure a place to live. For new renters or those planning to move, the situation could become even more difficult. Imagine searching for a home and finding nothing available in your budget, or being stuck in your current place because moving could mean losing your protected rent rate. That's the trap. You're protected, but also stuck. And for landlords, rising maintenance costs and regulations may push them to exit the market entirely, making the crisis even worse over time. So what's the smart move? If you're renting, start planning ahead now. Consider securing longer-term agreements, understand your rights under current laws, and always have a backup plan. Because in 2026, the challenge won't just be paying rent, it will be finding a place to rent at all. Number 3. Hidden taxes are quietly draining your income. In 2026, one of the biggest threats to your financial stability may not be something obvious like rent or fuel prices. It could be hidden taxes and rising fees that slowly eat away at your income without you even noticing. These aren't always labeled clearly. Instead, they show up as small increases in service charges, local fees, utility surcharges, and policy-driven costs that quietly stack up month after month. Economic reports have already highlighted how the cost of living in places like California is rising not just because of inflation, but because of layered expenses built into everyday life. You might notice your electricity bill creeping up, your internet costing more, or new processing fees appearing where they didn't exist before. Individually, they don't seem like much, but combined, they can take a serious toll on your monthly budget. Now imagine this happening while wages remain mostly the same. Suddenly, you're working just as hard, but your money isn't stretching as far. This creates a silent pressure that forces many families to cut back on essentials, delay plans, or even take on debt just to keep up. And the most dangerous part, because these costs are spread out, many people don't realize how much they're losing until it's too late. So what can you do? Start tracking every expense, even the small ones. Review your bills regularly, question unexpected charges, and look for ways to reduce unnecessary costs. Because in 2026, it's not just the big expenses that matter, it's the hidden ones slowly draining your financial future. Number 4. Immigration rules are becoming more complex and risky. In 2026, immigration in California and across the U.S. could become far more complicated, stressful, and risky, especially for those who think they're already safe. New policy shifts, stricter verification systems, and increased scrutiny mean that even small errors in documentation could lead to serious consequences like delays, fines, or even loss of legal status. Legal analysts have pointed out that immigration systems are becoming more digitized and interconnected, which means your data is constantly being checked, updated, and cross-referenced. While this improves efficiency, it also leaves less room for mistakes. Something as minor as a missed renewal deadline, an outdated address, or incomplete paperwork could now trigger automatic flags in the system. Imagine living your daily life, working, studying, supporting your family, and suddenly facing unexpected legal trouble because of a technical issue you didn't even know existed. Reports have shown that backlogs and processing delays are already affecting thousands, leaving people stuck in uncertainty for months or even years. This creates emotional stress, financial strain, and in some cases, forces people to put their entire lives on hold. What makes this even more concerning is that many people rely on outdated information or assumptions. But in 2026, staying informed is not optional, it's essential. The smartest move. Keep all your documents updated, double-check deadlines, and consult verified sources whenever possible. Because in this new system, one small mistake could have life-changing consequences. We spend hours researching these critical updates to protect you. Now we want to hear your story. Have you or someone you know faced immigration delays or issues? Drop your thoughts below and don't forget to subscribe. It's one click that keeps you one step ahead. Number 5. Eviction laws could hit faster than you expect. In 2026, eviction is no longer a slow, drawn-out process. It could become faster, stricter, and far more unforgiving. While some laws are designed to protect tenants, new enforcement rules and legal procedures may actually make it easier for landlords to act quickly when payments are missed or rules are broken. For many renters already living paycheck to paycheck, this creates a dangerous situation where one financial setback could trigger a rapid eviction process. Housing reports have shown that as legal systems become more streamlined, eviction cases are processed more efficiently, but that doesn't always benefit tenants. In fact, shorter notice periods and stricter compliance requirements mean that renters may have less time to respond, negotiate, or recover. Imagine missing rent by just a few days due to an unexpected expense, only to receive a notice that puts your entire living situation at risk almost immediately. What makes this even more alarming is that many tenants are unaware of their rights or the exact rules they must follow. Simple mistakes, like failing to respond to a notice correctly or not understanding legal deadlines, can speed up the eviction process even further. And once the process starts, reversing it becomes extremely difficult and costly. So what's the smart move? Stay informed about your tenant rights, keep communication open with your landlord, and always have a financial backup plan if possible. Because in 2026, eviction won't just be a possibility, it could be a sudden reality that catches you completely off guard. Number 6. Small business regulations are becoming harder to survive. In 2026, running a small business in California could feel less like chasing a dream and more like navigating a maze of complex rules, rising costs, and constant pressure. New regulations, updated compliance requirements, and stricter enforcement are expected to make it harder for small business owners to keep up, let alone grow. What used to be manageable paperwork could now turn into time-consuming and expensive obligations. Recent business studies have shown that when regulations increase, small businesses are often the first to struggle. Unlike large corporations, they don't have legal teams or extra resources to handle every change. This means even a minor mistake, like missing a permit renewal, failing to meet a new labor requirement, or misunderstanding a tax rule, could result in heavy fines or forced shutdowns. Imagine putting your savings, time, and energy into building a business, only to face unexpected costs or legal issues that threaten everything you've worked for. Many owners are already reporting rising stress due to increasing operational expenses, employee regulations, and licensing complexities. And for some, the pressure becomes too much, leading them to shut down or relocate. So what can you do if you're a business owner or planning to become one? Stay ahead of changes by regularly checking official updates, keeping your documents organized, and seeking professional advice when needed. Because in 2026, success won't just depend on your idea, it will depend on how well you adapt to a rapidly changing system. Number 7. Rising utility costs and energy rules are hitting hard. In 2026, one of the most unexpected financial shocks for many Californians could come from something they use every single day: electricity, gas, and basic utilities. New energy policies, infrastructure upgrades, and environmental regulations are expected to push costs higher, and for many households, this could mean monthly bills increasing without warning. Energy studies have already shown that as states transition toward cleaner energy systems, the upfront costs often fall on consumers. While the long-term goal may be sustainability, the short-term reality is that many families are facing higher rates, additional surcharges, and new usage-based pricing models. This means the more you rely on electricity, whether for cooling, heating, or daily living, the more you could end up paying. Now imagine opening your utility bill and seeing a number that's significantly higher than what you're used to, with no clear explanation. For families already dealing with rent, food, and transportation costs, this creates a serious financial squeeze. And the worst part? These increases are often gradual, making it harder to notice just how much more you're spending over time. But there's a smarter way to prepare. Start by becoming more energy aware, reduce unnecessary usage, invest in energy-efficient appliances if possible, and monitor your bills closely. Because in 2026, it's not just about turning on the lights, it's about managing a system that's becoming more expensive every month. Number 8. Seniors are facing new financial and legal pressures. In 2026, one of the most vulnerable groups in California could be seniors living on fixed incomes, and the challenges they face are quietly growing. Rising living costs, changes in property-related rules, and increasing healthcare expenses are creating a situation where many older residents feel financially squeezed from every direction. What once felt stable, retirement savings, a paid-off home, or steady benefits, is now becoming less predictable. Recent research on aging populations shows that even small increases in expenses can have a huge impact on seniors, especially those relying on limited monthly income. Property taxes, maintenance costs, insurance premiums, and utility bills are all rising, and for many, there's no easy way to increase income to keep up. This creates a difficult choice: cut essential spending, take on debt, or consider selling assets they've held onto for decades. Imagine living in your home for years, building memories, only to suddenly feel like you can no longer afford to stay. For some seniors, new regulations and financial pressures could make it harder to maintain independence. Others may face complex paperwork, benefit changes, or legal requirements that feel overwhelming without proper guidance. So what can be done? Planning ahead is more important than ever. Seniors and their families should review financial plans, stay updated on benefit programs, and seek advice when needed. Because in 2026, the biggest challenge won't just be aging, it will be navigating a system that's becoming harder to manage with limited resources. We put real effort into uncovering these important issues. Now we want to hear from you. Are seniors in your family feeling this pressure? Share your thoughts below and don't forget to subscribe. It's one simple click that helps you stay informed and prepared. Number 9. Banking rules and financial monitoring are expanding fast. In 2026, managing your money may not feel as private or simple as it once did. New financial regulations and monitoring systems are expected to expand, meaning banks and institutions could be tracking transactions more closely than ever before. While these changes are often introduced to improve security and prevent fraud, they can also create unexpected complications for everyday people. Financial analysts have noted a growing trend toward increased reporting requirements and automated monitoring systems. This means that certain transactions, especially larger transfers, frequent deposits, or unusual activity, may be flagged automatically. For some individuals, this could lead to account reviews, temporary holds, or requests for additional verification that delay access to their own money. Now imagine needing urgent access to your funds, only to find your account restricted due to a system-generated alert. For small business owners, freelancers, or families managing tight budgets, even a short delay can create serious financial stress. And the most concerning part, many people don't even realize these systems exist until they are directly affected. This doesn't mean you should panic, but it does mean you should be prepared. Keep your financial records organized, avoid unclear or undocumented transactions, and stay informed about your bank's policies. Because in 2026, it's not just about how much money you have, it's about how easily you can access and manage it in a more controlled financial environment. Number 10. Cost of living crisis is reaching a breaking point. By 2026, the biggest pressure facing millions in California may not be one single law, but the combined effect of everything happening at once. Rising rent, higher utility bills, stricter rules, hidden fees, and everyday expenses are all stacking up, creating a cost of living crisis that feels impossible to escape. What used to be manageable is now becoming overwhelming for many families. Economic forecasts and recent data show that wages are not increasing at the same pace as expenses. This gap means people are working just as hard, or even harder, but still falling behind. Groceries cost more, transportation is more expensive, and basic services are becoming less affordable. Over time, this creates a situation where even small financial setbacks can push someone into serious financial trouble. Now imagine living in a place where every month feels like a struggle to keep up. Savings disappear, debt increases, and long-term plans, like buying a home or securing your future, start to feel out of reach. For some, this pressure leads to tough decisions like relocating, changing careers, or downsizing their lifestyle just to survive. The reality is, this isn't just about money, it's about stability, security, and quality of life. And in 2026, many people may reach a point where they can no longer ignore these challenges. So what's the smart move? Start preparing now. Build an emergency fund, look for additional income streams, and stay informed about changes that could affect your finances. Because in this new reality, those who plan ahead will be the ones who survive and adapt. As we've seen, 2026 is shaping up to be a year of major changes that could impact almost every part of daily life in California. From driving penalties and housing challenges to immigration rules, rising costs, and financial monitoring, the system is evolving in ways that many people are simply not prepared for. And the truth is, these changes don't happen all at once. They build slowly, quietly, until one day, you realize everything feels more expensive, more complicated, and more risky. What makes this situation even more serious is that most people only react after they're affected. A fine arrives, a bill increases, a notice is sent, and suddenly it's too late to prepare. But the goal of this video was to make sure you're not one of those people. Because when you understand what's coming, you gain something powerful: control. The ability to plan, adjust, and protect yourself before problems appear. The key takeaway is simple: stay informed, stay prepared, and stay proactive. Small steps today, like tracking your expenses, updating your documents, understanding your rights, and planning ahead, can make a huge difference tomorrow. In a world where rules are constantly changing, knowledge isn't just helpful, it's essential for survival. So don't ignore these warnings. Take them seriously, share this information with others, and start making smarter decisions today. Because in 2026, the difference between struggling and staying stable may come down to how early you took action. And remember, the more aware you are, the harder it becomes for these changes to catch you off guard.